What's going on, everybody? We are at the end of the week. Play-in tournament is tonight, the last two games of the play-in tournament, and also the official start of the NBA playoffs start tomorrow. I got a lot to get into today, so you might want to sit down and chill out because what I'm about to say, it might help y'all out with your bets, your props, and your predictions on these playoff series and these play-in games for tonight. Now, I'm not going to get in too much about the play-in games because the last 2 days I've been talking about both of these games, but I'm going to just give you my predictions on who I think will win both of these games tonight. So, Chicago Bulls, Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler is out for the foreseeable future. And on top of that, DeMar DeRozan for the Chicago Bulls, he is on an absolute tear. He had 23 points the last game. I expect them to have that many points and more this game. I expect the Bulls to win this game because Miami is shorthanded. I don't know what I'm going to see from Tyler Hero. Bam Adebayo, he's a center, so he averaged 10 to 15 points a game. The most is 20. So I don't know what I'm going to see from the Miami Heat bench, even though the Miami Heat bench kept them in the game the other night versus the Philadelphia 76ers. But I think the Bulls, will win this game tonight because Miami Heat does not have Jimmy Butler, and they've had a losing record without playing with Jimmy Butler. So the odds is in the Bulls' favor to win tonight. The next game I want to talk about is the Sacramento Kings and New Orleans Pelicans. Now the Pelicans are at home, but they don't have their top guy. They don't have Zion Williamson. He is out for tonight's game. So I expect the Sacramento Kings to win this game. Even though the Sacramento Kings have been up and down all season. They have been up and down all season. If they lose this game tonight, that would not look good because from the level of excitement that they had last year, coming from when they were nobody projected them to make the playoffs last year, coming into this season, everybody was expecting them to at least be a 3 or 4 seed in the playoffs, and now they are at this point in the season where they are fighting for their playoff lives, and that's why they are in this situation tonight. So, the Pelicans, you're sure you are undermanned. You are supposed to win this game since you are at home, but you don't have your franchise player, your superstar player at the helm. So that's why I'm going with the Sacramento Kings. You got to have all your players ready and injury free for a deep playoff run. Now, do I expect, if the Pelicans do win this game, do I expect them to make a deep playoff run? No, I don't. But for the Sacramento Kings, if you want to to change the trajectory of your franchise with this game, you should win this game and make it to the playoffs, and you'll be done made playoffs in back-to-back years. Previous to that, the Sacramento Kings were lovable losers. 17 years of not making a playoff appearance. Now, if they win tonight, they'll be done made back-to-back playoff appearances, and they'll be changing the trajectory of the franchise, making them from lovable losers to playoff contenders, and in a few years, possibly title contenders. So that's what I see from this game tonight. Now, it's time for me to talk about these good playoff series that we are about to get into. Now, for The first playoff series I'm going to talk about is I'm going to start off in the Western Conference, so stay with me, yo. The Los Angeles Clippers and Dallas Mavericks. We all know that Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving is the driving force for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, as far as the Los Angeles Clippers, they have a quote-unquote Big Four, as I like to call them, with Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. Now, with those four guys, are they gonna be able to hold up? Now, I'm not saying that they don't produce in the playoffs, because they do. But when it comes to the Clippers, they have been up and down. I'm going to say their playoff history for the last 12 years, they have been up and down. They've lost 3-1 series leads when they weren't even supposed to lose the series. Against the Dallas Mavericks have been on the roll for the last 6 weeks. In the last 25 games, they've won 17 of them. And now, all of a sudden, they are in the playoffs when everybody projected them to be, at best, a play-in team. When it comes to this series, I'm picking the Dallas Mavericks to win this, because I don't know what I'm going to get from the Clippers bench on a game in and game out basis. I mean, the Clippers bench throughout the regular season was decent, but the playoffs are here. The regular season is over. It's put up or shut up. You got at least 4 games left in your season. And also, 4 games left in your season in a 7-game series. So you got 7 games, you got to win 4 of them. Can you win 4 of them? And can their bench give out enough production to win a series like this? Because you know that Kyrie Irving, he is going to score like 30 out of nowhere. Luka Doncic, he going to score like 30 out of nowhere. The Dallas Mavericks bench is going to score 20 to 25 points per game off the bench, like they've been scoring throughout the regular season. And if you are the Clippers, you have had defensive efficiencies all season, and I believe it's going to show up in this playoff series coming up. So I got the Dallas Mavericks winning this series. The next series I want to talk about is the Minnesota Timberwolves and Phoenix Suns. Now also, I'm going to get into the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves, last couple of years, they've made the playoffs. Won a playoff series last year versus the Denver Nuggets before. Well, excuse me. They won a playoff series last year and got knocked out by the Denver Nuggets. So they have a little playoff experience. But the Phoenix Suns, you got Devin Booker, who has been to the finals. You got Kevin Durant, who has been to the finals. You also got Bradley Beal. He's got some playoff experience. And plus, you also have the best three-point shooter that has come off the bench in the NBA in Grayson Allen. Now, the only level of trepidation I have for the Phoenix Suns in this series is, can they keep a lead in the fourth quarter? Because all of their losses, and this is crazy, but all of their losses that they lost in the regular season came when they were leading at some point in the fourth quarter. So this team, can it finish a game the right way? There have been times where I've looked at the Phoenix Suns in these games. They can be up by 10, 15 points with 8, 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And then all of a sudden, you go get you something to eat or something to drink, and you come back and they down by at least 3 or 4 points. It's like It's like, dog, it's like y'all was just dominating and now y'all down. So the level of inconsistency when it comes to the Phoenix Suns in the fourth quarter has me not going with them in this series. I believe Minnesota wins this series in an upset because the Phoenix Suns are favored to win this series. But do I think that they can win it if they are able to finish out games in the fourth quarter? Because in a playoff series, one game can change the whole outcome of a series. And if you have any slip ups here or there, that could potentially lose you the series. Minnesota Timberwolves, they have the better team. They have the deeper team. They have the deeper bench production. So I'm picking the Minnesota Timberwolves to beat the Phoenix Suns. I'm going to say that this series go to limit, 7 games. I got Minnesota in 7. And for my previous prediction, I got the Mavericks in 6. Now, the next playoff series I'm going to talk about, and this is the matchup that we all had been wanting. The Denver Nuggets versus my dearly beloved Los Angeles Lakers. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers are projected. There are some people that saying that this is going to be a sweep. Might as well go ahead and bring out your brooms now. I got other people saying that it'll be a gentleman's sweep, that the Nuggets will win in 5 games. And then I even got some people saying that this series might go to limit. But if I had to pick, this is the upset. This is the upset. Now, what I'm going to say is in the last 9 games that the Lakers have played the Denver Nuggets, they've lost every game by at least 4 points or more. It is just when these two teams play for the Los Angeles Lakers, it has just been defensive lapses at critical times in these games. It really has. Opening night, they played each other. They were up. They even, in the last few minutes of the game, they were up. And then all of a sudden, you got Jamal Murray hitting two shots here. And then you have Nikola Jokic hitting basically a 3 that shouldn't have went in when the clock was going down. And they almost had a shot clock violation, but the ball hit the rim and it went on in. It has just been, I'm not going to say that the Denver Nuggets are lucky, because if you a champion, even though it's luck in being a champion, there's not a whole lot of luck involved. It was just last year the Denver Nuggets was just the better team. That's all. Just the better team. So, but you see what the players for the Lakers had been talking about all throughout the off season. They were saying that we got y'all, we showed y'all, we dominated in y'all house and stuff. So now it's time for the Lakers to put up or shut up. You already know what you're going to get with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You got to have Austin Reeves dominate. You got to have Rui Hachimura dominate. You got to have Tavion Prince come off the bench and dominate. You have got to have a collective team of players to dominate the Denver Nuggets, because it is the level of difficulty to keep all of these players on the Denver Nuggets in check. It is just astronomical. It's almost like climbing Mount Everest, because their best player is 6'11". He is a walking triple-double. Also, the counterpart, Jamal Murray, he is also a double-double machine. He could average 25 and 10 just like that. As far as this series, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this series is gonna be an upset. I got the Lakers in 6 games. Yes, America, I did say it. I got the Lakers in 6 games because the Denver Nuggets, they have shown some vulnerability throughout the season. It's not like the team that they had last year. They don't have those dynamic scorers that can come off the bench who played for other teams and was the bona fide superstar for those other teams. Now they only have about maybe 3 or 4 good players that can come off the bench and give you 10 to 15 points per game. Now, that's a level playing field. The Lakers have those players too, as of now. Only thing the Lakers have to do is work on their defense, look at film, see what type of weaknesses that the Denver Nuggets have, and hopefully they can come out on top and win this series in 6 games. So that is my upset for that series. The Lakers in 6. Now I am going to move over into the Eastern Conference. First, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers and we have the Orlando Magic. Now, Cleveland, everybody expected Cleveland to be back here like they were last year. Nobody expected Orlando Magic to be here. They have exceeded everybody's expectations. I still think that it's a good success story that the Orlando Magic were able to make it to the playoffs. But I think Cleveland's got this series. Cleveland, they gonna win this thing in 7 games. That's what I'm saying. Cleveland in 7, because you got Donovan Mitchell. You got Cleveland as a one-man show. And then you have, for the Orlando Magic, a collective of guys that can take over a game. Orlando, they don't have a bona fide superstar. They don't have somebody that you could just give them the ball and say, hey, go get me 40, go get me 50, or go get me 30. When it comes to the Orlando Magic, most of those guys they are not, I'm going to say it like this. Most of those guys, they aren't game changers like Donovan Mitchell is. Donovan Mitchell, he can take over a game, but do I need to remind you about what he did in February and in January? He scored 70 points in one game. And then after that, the next game scored 50. So you know that this man can take over a game. And I think that with him being there, the Cavaliers will be able to win this series, no doubt. I got the Cavaliers in 7 games. The next playoff series I am going to talk about is the Milwaukee Bucks and Indiana Pacers. Now, we all know that Giannis Antetokounmpo is not going to be able to go in the first couple of games of this series. The Indiana Pacers have the best offense in the NBA. The Milwaukee Bucks have one of the worst defenses in the NBA. And in closing situations and situations where you need clutch moments and timely stops, the Milwaukee Bucks have failed to deliver throughout the regular season. Those defensive efficiencies are going to hurt them in this series. I'm picking the Pacers to win this series. Because who is going to stop Tyrese Halliburton? Tyrese Halliburton, he has averaged 30 points throughout the regular season. And even against the Milwaukee Bucks, he went for 45. Not once, but he went for 45 twice. The Milwaukee Bucks, they have a lot of question marks when it comes to their defense. They have a lot of question marks when it comes to their offense. What type of plays are they running? What type of system are they running? And also, they have someone who can take over the game, last few minutes on the clock in Giannis and in Damian Lillard. But he has shrunk in those situations. Now, we all know that Damian Lillard has personal issues off the court. I am not going to get into that because I am not going to speak on a man's private life. So now, when it comes to this series, I'm picking the Pacers because you don't have, for the Milwaukee Bucks, you don't have Giannis Antetokounmpo. You're struggling on the defensive end. Sometimes you have shooting droughts on the offensive end. And plus, the Pacers have the best offense in the NBA. And plus, they are the underdogs. And I'm going to go for the underdog in this case. So I got the Pacers winning this series in 6 games. So I got 3 more playoff series before I get out of here. The New York Knicks and Philadelphia 76ers. That's the next playoff series I want to talk about. You got Jalen Brunson and you got Joel Embiid. Also, along with Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and will you have another game from Nicholas Batum? Who knows? Probably not. But the New York Knicks, I said this in my previous show. I said, whoever the New York Knicks play, it doesn't matter. The New York Knicks will win this series. And they are going to win this series because they have the better team. Plus, Joel Embiid is just a few weeks removed from coming back. And I know he is not 100%. At best, he is 75%. So, I got the New York Knicks winning this series in, I'm going to say they are going to win this series in 5 games. I'm going to give the 76ers 1 game. But the New York Knicks are the better team. They have the better bench production. And plus, they're not dealing with an injured player coming off of injury from a few weeks ago like the 76ers are with Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is not going to be able to take over a series like he needs to because he just came off injury. So I got the New York Knicks winning that series. Now, the last 2 series that I am going to talk about is the Boston Celtics and the team who I'm projecting to win tonight's play-in tournament, the Chicago Bulls. I think that when it comes to the Chicago Bulls, they just going to be happy to make it to the playoffs. But the Boston Celtics, I'm going to basically say, with the Boston Celtics, do not mess around and make this series longer than it needs to be. The Chicago Bulls, go on ahead and sweep them. And I got y'all winning that series in a sweep. So when the Bulls win tonight, Celtics fans, go on ahead and bring out the brooms because this is not going to be a long series at all. And for the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder playing against what I'm projecting who is going to win tonight, the Sacramento Kings. I think that the OKC Thunder will win this series in 7 games because Sacramento Kings, one of the best offenses. OKC has one of the best offenses in the NBA. And with that, those are my predictions for tonight's play-in games and the first round of the playoffs. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all my reaction videos and show content and other content. I hope everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. There's a bunch of playoff games. We also have a fight between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. I am also going to give my reaction video about that fight tomorrow night. So be on the lookout. Right after the fight, I will give you my reaction. And with that, remember, there's always one other thing that I always say. Remember, the key is always on time.